Hey everyone, and welcome back to your Python journey. In part 3, we're diving deep into the world of data structures. So far, you've learned how to make Python print things, store values, do math, make decisions, and even create reusable code with functions. You've basically mastered the verbs of programming the actions. Now, it's time to learn the nouns, the containers that hold all your data. I'm talking about lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. These are the absolute heart of Python programming. They're what lets you group, organize, and manage data, whether it's a shopping cart, a playlist, a user profile, or even a database record. By the end of this section, you'll not only know how to use these structures, but also why they're so crucial in real-world applications. Let's kick things off with the most common one, the list. A list is simply a collection of items stored in order, and it's changeable. Imagine you have a list of fruits: apple, banana, cherry. If you ask Python for the item at position 0, it gives you apple, position 1, banana. You can even add to it. If you append orange, your list now holds apple, banana, cherry, and orange. Lists are literally everywhere. Your Netflix queue is a list of movies. Your Amazon cart is a list of products. Your Spotify playlist, a list of songs. The key takeaway: lists are ordered, editable collections of data, and they come with built-in tools or methods. Need to remove an item? Just use fruits. Remove banana, and banana is gone. Want to insert mango right after apple? You can do that, too. You can also sort your list, arranging fruits alphabetically or numbers from smallest to largest. Apps use these methods constantly. Spotify sorts songs by popularity, and e-commerce sites let you filter and reorder items. Underneath all that, it's just list methods at work. But what if you don't need the whole list, just a small part of it? That's where slicing comes in. Imagine a list of numbers: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. If you ask for the numbers from index 1 to 4, Python gives you back 20, 30, and 40. This is exactly how your social media feed works. You don't see every single post at once. The app slices the list and shows you 10 at a time. Slicing lets you zoom in on specific portions of your data. Next up, we have tuples. A tuple looks just like a list, but with one major difference: it can't be changed once it's created. Think of GPS coordinates for a city, like 10, 20. You can ask for the value at index 0 and get 10, but if you try to change it, Python will say no. Tuples are perfect for data that should remain fixed, like latitude and longitude, or the RGB values of a color. Tuples also have this cool feature called packing and unpacking. You can pack values like 3 and 4 into a single point tuple. Then you can unpack that point back into separate variables. X and Y. This is super handy when a function needs to return multiple values at once, like a status code and a message. Tuples deliver them together, and unpacking splits them cleanly. Now, let's talk about sets. A set is a collection where duplicates just vanish. If you create a set with the numbers 1, 2, 2, 3, Python quietly removes the extra 2, leaving you with just 1, 2, and 3. Sets are incredibly powerful for checking if an item exists in a collection. Think about email systems removing duplicate recipients or databases, ensuring every user ID is unique. That's sets in action. Sets can also perform mathematical operations like union and intersection. If you have two sets of friends, you can find the friends you have in common with an intersection. Social networks use this to suggest mutual friends. Then we have dictionaries, which store data in key-value pairs. For example, a user's name is Alice and their age is 25. You ask for the user's name, and Python tells you Alice. This works just like a real dictionary. A word points to its meaning. Your Facebook profile is essentially one big dictionary, with keys like name, email, and birthday, each pointing to your personal information. And these dictionaries can change on the fly. You can add an email, check all the keys, or see all the values. You can even have dictionaries inside of other dictionaries, creating complex, layered data. This is the very backbone of how APIs exchange billions of records every single day. Of course, we need a way to go through all this data. That's where loops come in. You can loop through a list to print each fruit one by one, or you can loop through a dictionary to display each key and its corresponding value. This is how apps and dashboards show you all your information in a neat, organized way. Finally, Python gives us some amazing shortcuts called comprehensions. Instead of writing a whole loop to create a list of squared numbers, you can do it in one elegant line with a list comprehension. The same goes for dictionaries. These are concise, powerful tools used all the time in data analysis to transform data quickly. So let's recap. Lists are ordered and editable. Tuples are ordered but unchangeable. Sets are for unique, unordered items. And dictionaries store everything in key-value pairs. Together, these four structures let you represent almost any type of data you can imagine. Every system you use, from social media to online banking, relies on them. You've made amazing progress. You've gone from working with single values to managing entire collections of data. You now have the power to store playlists, build profiles, and organize huge amounts of information. Coming up in Part 4, we'll explore object-oriented programming, the tools that let us model the real world right inside our code. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of our Python adventure. See you in the next video.